What's going on, fam? Let's go ahead and start us off with some deep breaths, and I will pull up some affirmations for you. If you are returning, welcome back. If you are new, my name is Kimber. We are in a safe space. We get it done here. We talk a lot about generational curses, how to overcome generational curses, how to break patterns. We talk a lot about intuition, tapping into our intuition, using our resources, getting to know our own set of skills and what we are able to do with this. We talk about different signs. We talk a lot about expression, creativity on this channel. Depending on where my intuition is taking me and the messages and the downloads that I get, that is the topic of the day. Today we're going to talk about new moon in Cancer vibes and new moon in Gemini, okay? I believe for the new moon in Cancer was the 5th, and then new moon in Gemini yesterday on the 7th. I also feel that we're in the middle of a retrograde, okay? There are transits as well. And I feel like this is why I'm getting a lot of energies here all mixed in together. And I have some notes that I want to share with you. Let's go ahead and just keep up with those deep breaths. I want to start us off with a prayer. Father in heaven, I love you and worship you. We humbly come before you to learn from you and listen to you. We choose to be still in your presence. Speak to our hearts so we can know you more. We cast our cares upon you because you care for us. Fill us with your peace as we put our trust in you. In Jesus' name, amen. There are no affirmations coming out. I want to tell you guys that this is my second attempt in making this video. The first time, I felt like there was a little bit of a disturbance. I believe it was the pace that I was in. When we are in the middle of retrograde, you guys, I stumble on my words a lot. My mind moves a lot faster. And my energy could be a little just bouncing off walls. Okay. I didn't like how the reading came out. I didn't like how it came out. So this is my second attempt in doing this affirmation. Let's get us some affirmations, you guys. Those deep breaths are so important, right? Those deep breaths are what is going to get us back on track and get our mind right exactly where it needs to be. I release the need to know all the answers. We are in the thick of it. In the thick of it. I believe I mentioned that in my other reading, the last one. You guys, the goal for us is to stay as lit and alive as possible. There may be a lot of things right now that we are feeling that we're not sure of. And our mind is playing tricks with us to not believe everything that you think about, that the thoughts that come up are not all real and are not all true. I acknowledge my fear, but I replace it with the insight of awareness. Okay. We are not our pain, and we're going to talk about denial here as well. I have some notes here about denial. We are not our pain, you guys. That's not our goal here. We are to stay as lit and alive as possible. This is what is needed of us at this time. This is essential. I would like to make a shout out to a friend of mine who is no longer with us, Jessica. I love you so much. I've known her since middle school. We grew up together. And I just recently found out that she's no longer with us. So I just want to make a shout out to her. She was a Leo. Rest in peace to her. It really shocked me. And, you know, when I hear things like this, it takes me a little bit to process it. And I had just found this out last week. I believe it was last week. 2 weeks ago. And I spent a whole week in silence, just reflecting about life. And I'd hate to see people go out of, because of a really bad reason, or, you know, just some things that we cannot carry. And it's as simple as just reaching out, you know. I think of her today. I want to pull up another affirmation. I accept that my inner voice will always guide me correctly. I am reminded to tell you guys to stay grounded and stay rooted in where you are. Stay rooted in your truth, most of all. Stay rooted in what feels good, what makes you feel at home. Okay? In any situation, do what you can, take that action. And when you are done, wait and be patient. If things do not work out the way you expect it to, collective, don't say anything. Be patient, trust, react, but keep it cool. Don't force. Don't let frustration in. Our goal, and hear me, collective, when I say this, our goal is to stay as lit and alive. Think life is kung fu. Keep on going. I had written that down. That came up for me as a message. Keep going. Keep pushing. Know that you are able and capable and possible. You know, we have our moments of doubt. In any situation that you are in, any circumstance you find yourself in, there are moments when we feel that doubt in our mind. Our mind plays tricks on us, and it can very well misinterpret us, ourselves. Okay. When we are not rooted in our truth and not grounded in our truth, our mind can play tricks on us very heavily. I believe what these retrogrades that are happening, this is what is keeping us sucked into this I don't want to say unwholesome, but it feels very dark. There is this mixture of good and evil in the air right now. To not get yourself mixed up. To know who you are. To know your truth and not getting mixed up in this good and evil energy that is happening in the air. I need to say that, and I feel the need to say that. Okay. I want to pull up a comfort card for that. I feel heavily on where our mind is taking us. We need to get out of the mind. And you know what I think it is? I think it's a lot of trauma and a lot of pain. Okay, Cancer season is asking us to increase our patience, collective. We are being asked to increase our patience. Patience equals luck. Patience is virtue. I feel like this is a practice. And this is what is being asked of us heavily. Enjoy the tranquility of water. To remove stress, immerse yourself in a soothing bath. Walk near a body of water or gently splash water on your face. I I was enjoying my shower this morning, and I had kept my face in the water for a while, and it felt really nice. And that's what it reminded me of. I would like to also add to please comment on this, okay, on the patience. Because I want to tell you guys something. There's something really interesting about Cancer season this year with patience, because patience equals luck this year. When we are willing to increase, like, let's just say that you're challenging yourself, you're wanting to be more patient. You're telling yourself, okay, I'm going to be willing to be more patient this time around. You may not have been the most patient person, okay? You were not always a patient person, but you're finding yourself now to practice on being more patient. Okay, this is what I'm getting. Because there's something about Cancer season when it comes to patience. Patience equals luck in Cancer season. Patience is a virtue. You know, when we force things way too much, too often, we miss out on the good things. We miss out on opportunities that was probably meant to be yours. If you would have just waited 5 more minutes, if you would have just waited 10 more minutes, if you would have just waited 20, 30, an hour, it doesn't matter. The longer you wait, and not just having to wait, you know, and you're going the whole time, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about just being patient and being calm. Tranquility. You being the water, okay? And staying in this energy of being calm and being so kind to yourself that you're going, an hour, that's nothing. Give me 2 hours. It's that kind of attitude that gives you and brings you so much more luck and prosperity into your life. The more patient we are, the more we are rewarded, if you will. Please comment on that, and I feel the need to say that. If something, like, for instance, something happens to you after you watch this, please come back and comment and share your story. I would love to hear it. I'm just so curious myself, because there's been a lot happening for me. It's I want to say magical. Like, the more I have been patient with myself and only having to control what I'm able to control, and then being patient at the same time, so much comes in all kinds of forms, if you will. Okay. It's interesting, but it makes you feel so abundant and fruitful. Like, I don't know if you guys recognize it, but the more that we keep ourselves calm, that we don't have to get things right away instantly, you know, it has become a society of instant gratification and instant, let me have this, let me have that now. I need it now, you know? And if we were to really think about it, do we actually really need this right now? Do we actually really need this right now? Or can I just wait a day? You know? There are other things to pay attention to that is more essential and more important than having to get that thing right away, instantly. Just going to put that out there. Moving on to the next here. Okay. We are stepping into this new karmic cycle. Okay. Make it clean, make it clear is what I'm getting here. Positive affirmations, these are important. Some affirmations that we just went over right now. I want to talk about more on denial here. Okay, I have some notes on denial, and I think I mentioned that already. Reciting positive affirmations every single day for 90 days, you guys. This is going to make a big difference. And I talk about this a lot on my channel. Affirmations is so impactful in our life. Believe it or not, it is the most impactful, most positive shift, okay, in your mind. You know, when you start to practice on things every day, that becomes a habit, and then you just become it. So when we are affirming to ourselves as much as we can, as much as possible every single day, practicing this every single day, having emphasis on the word practice, affirming to ourselves, I am capable, I am possible, I am strong, I am willing, I intend, I am worthy, I am enough. These positive affirmations is what is going to give us the boost. If you are finding yourself to be in the depths of your shadow right now, which is a very deep thing to say, but I feel the need to say that because I feel like some of us are. And I'm going to get into that in a little bit more about it. We are either in the depths of our soul or in the depths of our shadow. And if you are finding yourself to be the one in the depths of your shadow, you just cannot get yourself out of it. Positive affirmations is the answer for you, okay? I accept that my inner voice will always guide me correctly. You guys, this is so important and essential. Hear me when I say it is so important and essential to affirm to yourself positive affirmations. Make yourself believe that you are. Do not make yourself believe that you cannot. Because the more that you say it and the more that you believe it, then you will become it, and you will become it to everybody else as well. That's ugly. Do not do that to yourself. Do you know how important you are? Do you know how worthy you are? Trust that if you find yourself in the depths of your shadow, that you are also able to get out of it. Remember what I said earlier about we are not our pain. We are not our pain. You may be feeling a lot of that pain inside of your system and in your mind and in your heart. You may be feeling a lot of that pain. And you're going to yourself, oh, Kimber, I just can't. Kimber, you know, it's been really tough. This journey has been really tough. You know, I can't catch a break, Kimber. Kimber, it's been so challenging. I cannot do this on my own. I don't know how to keep up. I get it. But you know, life is not supposed to be easy. Suppose let's just say life is trying to teach us a lesson here. And that pain that we are holding on to, that's not our goal. That's not to stay in it. Our goal is not to stay in our pain. Our goal is to understand our pain and then get ourselves out of the pain, transmute it. We cannot stay in this forever, you guys. This is not the answer to life. It can't be. I won't allow it, not on my channel. So you're finding yourself to be in this new karmic cycle. For some of you, I'm speaking to somebody here. For some of you, you're finding yourself to be in a new karmic cycle and you're going, I'm going to make it clean. I'm going to make it clear. This is a clean slate. And I think I had mentioned this in my other reading as well before this one, if you guys want to go back to that one. I had talked about you having to, clear out, whether that would be you clearing out your mind space, you clearing out your heart, cleansing the heart, you cleaning your room, you cleaning your living room, you cleaning your kitchen, you cleaning your car. I had mentioned that, right? This is important. This is a new karmic cycle. And what I mean by you having to step into this new karmic cycle, this is you having to start all over again. You have now set some discipline in this new karmic cycle, and you're speaking to yourself. For some of you, I'm speaking to you. For some of you, you're going, this is a new karmic cycle for me. This is going to give me an even stronger foundation. Okay, because I'm making it clean, I'm making it clear to myself, and I am affirming to myself that I'm going to do better this time. More on discipline, more unwilling to grow, more unwilling to get yourself out of that pain. Because remember, pain is not our goal. We are not to stay in pain forever. As much as we don't want to change, sometimes you are doing yourself some good when you are willing to change and willing to step out of that pain that we are in. It's not okay to be staying in that pain forever. Because you see, what's going to happen eventually is that when you stay in that pain is going to be projected onto other people, especially your loved ones, who do not deserve to be hurt. Hurt people. We don't want to constantly hurt people for no reason whatsoever, just because we are hurt. Does that make sense? It should. It doesn't sound right, right? Hurt people. Is there anything, there's no common sense to that? There's nothing in that I just said that makes sense. It should be hurt people should heal the hurt. We cannot help it sometimes, but you also don't deserve to be hurt. You see, you were hurt and the pain was put on you, and this is why it is coming up. You were hurt since you were a little kid. You were in pain since you were a little kid, and somebody put that there. And you're going to yourself, I didn't even deserve this. So then you're going around to other people and you're hurting them because you're hurt. I did not put this pain here. Somebody else put this pain here. I did not deserve this pain, so I'm going to hurt everybody else as well who don't deserve it. So now you are being the bad person in hurting other people. You are the one now spreading that poison to everybody else who do not deserve it. Now, somebody's got to be the bigger person and go, I'm going to cut that out. And I'm going to be willing to grow. I'm going to be the one willing to step in this new karmic cycle. And I'm going to make it clean and I'm going to make it clear for me. For me. Let me tell you guys, when you choose to heal, there's nothing about it that you're going to regret. Okay. Positive affirmation. This is going to bring in a boost in your mind. Positive affirmations is going to by and by enlighten you, make you feel enlightened. That is our goal, is to be enlightened, not to stay in pain. I used to write positive affirmations before I go into work in a little tiny book, and I would bring it with me. And so when I have, when I'm waiting on something or someone, when I have some time to just sit there, I would take it out of my purse and I would read it and I would say it out loud to myself. You can even put it under your notes in your phone, and then make it a habit for you. Make time to make this a fresh habit, to cultivate this fresh habit that you now have in this new karmic cycle that you're in. Okay. I haven't even shuffled cards here, but I will in just a second. Okay. I want to pull up an affirmation for that, since we're talking about positive affirmations here. The difference between pain body and healing body. You are not going to see it until you experience it for yourself. And I'm sure that you have seen your friends or your family members who have grown a lot. As I read this card, I want to expand my consciousness and my awareness growth. Yes. I was going to say that you're probably the one seeing your friends and your family growing and expanding, right? And you've seen them progress. That's beautiful. I'm getting that. You've seen them progress. If one can do it, everybody can do it. I want to tell you guys that I always share this story. Okay, when I was severely depressed, I would look at other people and I would go, how do they do that? How do they keep their smile and on their face, so effortlessly smiling and just living life? How do they do that? And I would ask myself that, and I would tell myself, I want to be like that. And if they can be like that, I most definitely can be like that. And I would tell myself that. And so I started healing for myself, and I started to, question a lot about myself, going into introspection and a whole lot of it. It's a never ending journey of healing, but that's what's so beautiful, because everything just keeps unfolding for you. It's a never ending unfoldment of what's there, what is to come, who are you? It's an everyday lesson of like, what's more? It's crazy, right? We think life as something we are like limited in. But when we think of ourselves as this multi-dimensional person with infinite possibilities above and beyond our mind, you just keep ascending. Like, there is no way pain can follow you up there. Pain is not allowed up there. Like, pain is not allowed here. Does that make sense? It's taking me back to the book, The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. And in the book, he was explaining that, ego cannot thrive in the here and now, because in the here and now, it is all about truth. Everything else dissipates, everything else disappears, and everything else just kind of withers away that is not of you. When you are here in the now, you're getting to the root of you, right? So everything that is not true will start to dissipate. Ego does not belong here. Ego does not belong in the here and now. Ego, in fact, cannot thrive in the here and now. I don't know how we just got there, but let's move on to the next here. I wanted to share something with you guys. I seen this post, and it makes sense, because I feel like in Cancer season, while we are in the depths of our shadow and or in the depths of our soul and finding out so much about what our soul is yearning at this time, what our soul is asking for at this time, and what we are dealing with in terms of getting in the depths of our shadow. Our subconscious mind holds 90%. This is where our beliefs, our emotions, our habits, our values, our protective reactions lies. This is where long-term memory, imagination, and intuition lies. So imagine you having to cultivate and create all of these amazing habits, perhaps maybe in this new karmic cycle that you are now stepping into. So our subconscious mind holds up 90% of those. So think about your beliefs right now. Think about your beliefs. Okay? What are your beliefs? We're going to go into that in a minute right here. I have some notes here about breaking patterns and debunking old belief systems. What are our beliefs? Where are we with our emotions? How are we able to manage our emotions right now? And what are we doing with it? What does your habits look like on the daily in your daily routine? What are your values? Protective reactions. How are you able to manage your frustrations? Okay. Where are you with your memory? How are you using your imagination and your intuition? Okay, all of these things. On the other side of that, our conscious mind holds 10%. which is of willpower, short-term memory, logical thinking, and critical thinking. And I just want to share that piece of information with you guys, and you can take that with you. I just felt the need to share that. Moving on to... okay, I also would like to add, I don't want to forget to read about circadian rhythm, your circadian rhythm. This is your inner clock, okay? Read about your equilibrium. Read about equilibrium. I feel like this is going to give some of us the soothe, is what I'm getting here. Okay, let's pull up. Read about, and I too am to do this for myself as well. Focus on gratitude. Don't wait for a crisis to happen. Be grateful for your life, here and now. Today, focus on what you have focus on what you have to be thankful for. This is also a great practice, like writing it down, journaling. What are 5 things I am grateful for? Writing and journaling is such a magical tool, and I just want to put that out there. I would recommend to buy a book, a new notebook, and then start writing about 5 things every day, 5 things that you're grateful for, right? That is also cultivating and creating a new habit, practicing that. That is going to get you out of the depths of your shadow, okay? But I feel the need to share with you to look up your circadian rhythm, and know it for yourself and where you are with your inner clock. Getting to know your inner clock, getting to know your equilibrium, and then these transits and retrogrades that we are in at this time. I also feel the need to add, it comes down sometimes when it gets a little bit much in our mind. Sometimes we don't even know, we get to a point where we don't even know who we are anymore. I feel like this is where astrology comes in, because astrology is an extension of us. It is, in fact, us. Our astrology is how we are wired. I am recommended to share with you guys to look up your birth chart and learn it for yourself. When I used to be very panicky, I had really bad anxiety, and I, would tell myself how much I hate myself and how confused I was. And I would I was always one drawn to looking up your personality and reading about you and reading about yourself. There's nothing wrong with that. I think we should. I think it's going to help us organize our mind. Okay. Moving on to breaking patterns and debunking old belief system. Okay. I feel like this is the main topic in this reading that I would like to talk about. Breaking patterns, breaking generational curses. This is breaking patterns in terms of where you are with your thinking, okay? And you're feeling a whole lot of this in this season, maybe in the middle of these retrogrades that we're having, okay? This is your thinking patterns. This is storylines, scenarios that your mind creates and plays out in your mind, even rehearsing. Going back to what I was saying about looking into The Power of Now, the book by Eckhart Tolle. It's called The Power of Now. To look into that, to read. I feel like reading is also very essential at this time to get you out of the mind, to get you out of the places in your mind that you're going to that you don't like. A book is going to help soothe that. This is about behavioral patterns, habits, behavioral patterns in our relationships. This is our patterns that we have with our mom, with our dad, with our sister, our brother, cousins, whomever, and your family. This is your daily habits, your patterns, even how you are with your family and the patterns that you have created, sometimes not even conscious that you now have created this pattern, whether it be very toxic or not, when it becomes very toxic and you find yourself to be in this loop of having to just repeat that pattern over and over and over and over again, you're not going to get anywhere. You in fact are not going to get anywhere. You are in fact in a lot of this and a lot of this and most definitely this, and that's all rooted in pain. That's all rooted in trauma that we're not really paying attention to, not very conscious about. This is what I'm getting, you guys. Okay. These thinking patterns that we find ourselves in, you know, this can also be rooted in pain and trauma. We don't understand why we're in this thought. We don't understand why I'm creating this scenario in my mind that's not even true. Our minds, once again, plays tricks on us. We are to manage our emotions. We are to get to know and understand our emotions, because in having to understand our emotions and learning how to manage our emotions, we too are able to understand where we are with ourselves. It's having to find balance between our emotions and our thinking. Okay, remember how I was saying about the conscious mind and the subconscious mind? Getting to know both of those. Okay, coming back to that, I feel the need to say that. When it comes to storylines and scenarios that we create in our mind, you know, this can also be very detrimental. Especially when we are in the depths of our shadow, you know, we start to create false narratives in our mind. We start to we start to fixate and putting so much energy on a thought that's not even true. Again, this is a pattern. We are in the middle of, we're in the middle of a transit where we are reflecting on all of those patterns. We are in the middle of a transit where we are finding ourselves to be more in introspection when it comes to our patterns. You're asking yourself, you know, this comes down to like self-reflecting. You're asking yourself, do I actually really believe this is true? Is this who I truly am, or is this just old conditioning? This is just what I was taught I should do, but I don't actually believe this. Does that make sense? Do I actually act this way? Do I actually really behave this way? Is this who I really am? Or is this just something that I started believing myself because somebody from my childhood told me that this is who I am? You ever hear somebody say like, oh, I do that because that's just who I am. That's just who I am. That's just who I am. You ever hear people say that? Like, that's just me. I just do that, you know? It's a question to ask, like, is this who I really am, or is this what I started believing because somebody told me that this is who I am? But do you believe it for yourself? That, I feel like, a question to ponder. Do I believe this for myself, or do I only really believe it because someone else believes it and someone else is telling me to believe it? But do I believe it to myself? Have I actually experienced it for myself for me to believe it? Okay, these are toxic patterns, I believe, also in like how you are in your relationships and how you are with your partner, romantic or non-romantic. This can be as simple as like biting your nails, like that bad pattern, like bad habit of biting your nails. You know, biting your nails could be a sign of like anxiety, overthinking, right? And you're biting your nails, you can't help it. Now your nail bed is bleeding, right? It's like, this is what I mean, but it could be very detrimental to you. Like, you're gonna hurt yourself if you don't stop the patterns. This is comes down also to like, if you are one dating right now and you're finding yourself to be in the same pattern, like why am I not finding success? Like, why am I not every guy or every girl I've ever dated, why do I feel like it's not successful? there is something about the patterns that you're going into that's not making you successful. This comes down also to like perhaps maybe how your mom treated you and how your dad treated you. You know, it comes down to that. This is trauma. Okay. I'm going to pull up some more cards here. We don't want to get to a point where we are now in denial about our patterns, that we're not paying attention and being aware of our own patterns that isn't actually going to help us, okay? Which leads me to denial. Judge not that you be not judged. Matthew 7. Denial is rooted in pain. Denial is rooted in trauma. Sticking to your truth, speak it, believe it. Don't let go of it. Don't go against your truth, and your confidence will increase. That's what I had written down here, you guys. Denial can also be very detrimental to our growth, our personal growth. You know, we cannot stay in denial and then expect things to be successful. Expect our relationships to be successful. Expect our lifestyle to be perfect. When we are living in denial, you're just living a lie. You're just living a false life. When we are in denial, we are in denial about ourselves, therefore being in denial about our relationships that we are in. To take heed on that, this is a perfect time to... I'm seeing, okay, this is a picture. Look at it. Okay, they're looking at each other, right? But instantly what I got is you looking at you. You looking at you. Okay. I know it's a man and a woman, but instantly what I got here is it's you looking at you and you taking care of you. Okay, 9 of Cups. I said something about knowing your own truth and sticking to your truth. Stand by your truth. Hold yourself in it. Ground yourself in your truth. You know, sometimes we could be so shameful of our truth. Like sometimes we don't allow ourselves to express our truth because we feel so shameful about our truth. But if you think about it, it is actually really better. It's better to express your truth and to know it for yourself, because that's what's going to save you. Instead of you having to hide it and be in denial and not having to express it at all, you're actually keeping yourself down in the depths of your shadow. Does that make sense? Nothing good can ever come out of you being in denial, because you're just continually living a false life. Therefore, continually attracting false relationships. Even jobs, career that is not actually meant for you, but you operating in denial is going to... You're going to attract the wrong things in your life. You don't want that to happen to you. It's going to be so detrimental to your mental health and your emotional health. I acknowledge my fear, but I replace it with the insight of awareness. What is it about your truth that you are so afraid of? We are either in the depths of our soul or in the depths of our shadow. And looking into in denial and doubt, this is your shadow. You having to entertain a lot of it, collective, and I hope that you're not. You know, that's scary. That is scary. You know, when you keep yourself in the depths of your shadow, it's scary. You make poor choices that way, you know. I'm reminded to tell you to think, be one with the universe, with all. Be one with all. Be one with all. I had gotten that while I was meditating, and I heard that voice. Be one with all. Think of yourself as everybody else. You are not more or you are not less than everybody else. You are equally as everybody else. We all have our fair share of pain. We all have our fair share of challenges. I am like everybody else, but with different challenges. I understand that everybody has their own unique paths. You are understanding yourself to be yourself and then themselves. You are not to compare yourself to other people, but you are to appreciate where you are with yourself, even if you are in the depths of your in the depths of your shadow. You are, in fact, getting to know a lot of your shadow, but you are not to stay in it. That's not the goal, remember? Collective, there is something about the sun this year, okay? This summer. The sun is very potent this year. Something about the sun, paying attention to how it's making you feel, paying attention to how comfortable or not comfortable you are with the sun. Okay, what I got from this and the message that came through when I got it is that for us who isn't so comfortable with yourself right now, you're going to have trouble connecting with the sun. Does that make sense? The sun is the source of it all. It is our source. It is, and to give us the nutrients that we need, right? I keep going back to be one with all, be one with the universe. When you are in that and you're grounded in that, be one with the universe, be one with all. When you think I am connected with everything, every living thing in this world, every conscious thing in this world, when you think that, you are more than comfortable being in the sun. Okay, I hope I'm making sense here. This is the message that I got. You are going to find comfort in the sun. You're going to find comfort with the sun, and you're going to connect with it. If you are one comfortable with being yourself, if you are one comfortable grounded in yourself, I suppose that if we are one to be in the depths of our shadow, you are not one to enjoy the sun right now. It is actually making you feel very uncomfortable. It's making your flesh feel very uncomfortable. Okay. If you are one to find yourself in the depths of your shadow, you're not comfortable with the sun right now. But if you are one and enjoying who you are and loving who you are and in the depths of your soul, and you just keep feeding your soul with so many good things, you are one with the sun. And you're feeling the sun and you're comfortable with it. Does that make sense? You find comfort in the sun. You are in fact finding a lot of nutrients that the sun is giving to you. The sun is given to you. Okay. May you always find rest within yourself, collective, and may you always find a home within yourself. Always. Trust. Trust, please. May you always find a home, bottom of the deck, within yourself. Keep that in mind. You know, it's not easy to be going through this healing journey. You know, some days, some seasons is going to be so raw, and it's going to feel so raw. But it's just trying to get you back. It's just gonna get you back on track. It is to put you back in order. That's crazy. I just said raw, and I'm looking at the word war, and backwards it's raw. You're finding yourself to be in war with yourself right now. And it is, in fact, a lot, and it's making you feel a lot. Whatever it is that you're going on, whatever war that's going on in your mind with yourself, not with everybody else, because it's with yourself. You're not at war with anybody. You are in fact at war with yourself. And some of us may be in this pattern and having to break these patterns, right? In our mind and our thinking, we're probably thinking that we are at war with people. We're not at war with people. You are at war with you. Therefore, you thinking that you are at war with other people, but you're not. That is the tricky part, right? It gets raw, it gets so real that we can't even fathom what is true and what is real anymore, right? the world has come to a point of deleting and subtracting the truth and then bringing you false, because false is easy to fathom. There's no meaning to it. There's no weight to it. Gold has weight on it. True diamonds, true gold has weight on it. It's got meaning. Society has subtracted truth out of this and had only really placed false in our minds. You don't want to be that. You don't want to be in this forever. There's no meaning in that. There is in fact no growth happening when we are in denial. Okay. May you always find rest within yourself, collective, and may you always find a home within yourself, always. It starts with this and a lot of it, and having a lot of self-control and keeping it to yourself, honoring your sensitivities, because that is your power that they don't tell you about. And so Cancer season now is making you face a lot of that, and you're going, I don't know if that's what I want to be because I'm ashamed. What you going to be ashamed for? What are you being ashamed for? Your sensitivities? I don't want to be too vulnerable. I don't want to seem too weak to other people. It is knowing your worth. Coming back to what I was saying about discipline. This is taking me back to discipline. It's knowing your worth. I am possible. I am capable. And coming back to positive affirmations here. Okay. For our ladies, your thinking patterns when it comes to being in PMS. For some of you guys, you are in this stage of PMS and or you're on your period. Okay. Where you are with your thinking pattern, this is going to make you go a little extra crazy. You may feel like you're going a little extra crazy in your mind, like you have extra thoughts, like excessive thoughts, and you're going to yourself. I'm reminded to tell you to check the last time you had your period. Okay, because you could be PMSing. This is PMS. You're going through your PMS stage. And when we PMS, we know how everything could be 10 times amplified, right? So you could be finding yourself to be like going a little bit crazy in your mind, and to remind you to check the last time you had your period, because you could be PMSing. And so where you are with your thinking patterns, it's just like, cluttered. It's cluttered. It feels cluttered. So I am reminded to tell you, and I had written this down, to express it, journal it, just write it down. You don't even have to think about how you're going to start it. Just write your thoughts down. Speaking out for you to hear. Speaking it out so that you can hear yourself, and being aware of what you are saying. And then coming back to what I was saying about affirmations. Affirmations is, I am not my thoughts. I know I am aware that I am having these thoughts, but I am not my thoughts. You know, those kind of affirmations. I am aware that I am having these thoughts. I am aware that these thoughts are coming up for me, but I am not my thoughts. It is so important to be doing this practice, collective, because when we don't, we keep ourselves in and suppressed. Our goal is not to be in pain. Our goal is to release pain, and then having more abundance in our life, staying in abundance and being in abundance. Okay. Questions, some questions to ponder here before we wrap this up. I think we're almost an hour in. Okay. Ooh. Okay. Questions to ponder. What does my soul want to learn at this time? What is the sense and rushing destiny? Ooh. Remember what I was saying about patience is a virtue? There's luck and patience in Cancer season, you guys, so watch out for that. Are you constructing something new based on what you have learned and who you want to become, or are you still in the past? I'm getting that for some of us who are in the depths of our shadow and it gets deep, right? And it gets pretty raw. You are most definitely still holding on something from the past, or it is holding on to you, and it is hard for you to let it go. Ooh. It just hit me pretty hard right now. It is the act of self-love, self-care. You know, some things are to be put out. Some things are to be left behind because it is not serving you any good. We only want good, you guys. You don't want to believe it now, but we only want good. We only want good. And for some of us who are yearning to feed your soul with so much good things, keep up with that. Keep up with it. And never having to let that go, because that's what's going to save you from keeping yourself from the pain and the trauma. You guys, I love you so much. Remember that. Remember that. I'm sending you so much love and support. All of my information will be in the description box below. You already know. If you want a personal reading, hit me up. Thank you for being so patient with me throughout this reading. I think I have covered everything. I love you guys. Take care of yourselves. I will see you in the next.